was a good man from what I seen. I wish I had a good man like Papoose. Remy Ma now want Papoose back, and he done moved in with his new girlfriend. Now she gotta play the hand that she picked. That man waited for her like she was in.
The streets of New York were just as busy and loud as always. But behind all that noise, something serious was brewing. Something that no one saw coming. It was supposed to be a normal day, but it ended up being the start of a mess that would turn Remy Ma's world upside down. Remy, a powerful voice in hip-hop, had always stood tall with confidence and grit. She had overcome so much in her life: prison time, public scrutiny, and the pressure of staying relevant in the music industry. But on this day, all of that strength couldn't protect her from the damage caused by one emotional outburst. She had recently entered a new relationship with Vanessa, a bold, lively woman who had quickly captured Remy's heart. At first, things were exciting. They laughed, supported each other, and looked like the perfect couple. But like many fast-moving relationships, the spark started fading when real problems showed up. Little arguments became daily fights. Remy found herself struggling with control, and Vanessa wasn't the type to back down. The argument that changed everything started over something small, possibly a misunderstanding. Maybe some alcohol was involved. But for Remy, emotions boiled over fast. Past hurts, jealousy, and pressure came rushing in. In a moment of pure anger, Remy lost control. Instead of walking away, she acted out. She pushed Vanessa against the wall, her hands shaking with rage. That one moment, just a few seconds, changed everything. Remy wasn't thinking clearly. She wasn't the composed artist. She was just overwhelmed and angry, and it all came out at once.
Times you really not ready for this work. She said it's natural. She don't have to. Not even I like talking about fighting. Sometimes people be needing hands put on them.
Vanessa's hands trembled as she tried to break free, her eyes wide with fear. But Remy Ma didn't let go. Her grip was tight, and the anger in her eyes didn't fade. At least not until Vanessa let out a painful cry that echoed through the room. That sound seemed to snap Remy back into reality. Her rage disappeared in an instant, replaced by confusion and horror. What had she done? How did things get this far? Vanessa, gasping for air, stumbled away and held her throat. Her voice shook as she whispered, "You can't do that to me, Remy. You can't hurt me." The words cut through the tension like a knife. Remy stood frozen, unable to speak. Guilt rushed over her like a wave. The room suddenly felt too small, like the walls were pressing in. Without saying another word, Vanessa picked up her phone and called 911. The sirens came quickly, the sound growing louder as they approached. When the police arrived, Remy didn't resist. She was still in shock as they handcuffed her and led her out of the apartment. The lights from the squad cars blurred her vision. She wasn't a rap star in that moment. She wasn't tough or proud. She was broken. Vanessa watched from the doorway, her heart heavy. A part of her wanted to scream or cry out, but she didn't. Something inside her had changed. She couldn't look at Remy the same way again. The pain wasn't just physical, it was emotional, and it ran deep. Whatever trust they'd built was now shattered. The trial that followed became the center of public attention. Headlines exploded, social media went wild, and fans took sides. Some people defended Remy, saying it was just a mistake. Others were furious, calling for accountability. But facts were facts: bruises, witness statements, and even Remy's own. Confession told the story clearly. In court, Remy's legal team tried to soften the blow. They described it as a heated moment that spun out of control, just a fight between lovers. But the judge saw it differently. There were consequences, and Remy had to face them. When the verdict was announced, it hit like a punch to the gut. She was sentenced, and just like that, the powerful woman who once ruled the rap scene was behind bars. Prison was a whole new world. It stripped away everything: her name, her fame, her power. The silence there was louder than any crowd she'd ever performed in front of. She had to sit with her thoughts, face her regrets, and look at herself without filters or excuses. There was no stage here, just cold walls and long nights. As time passed, Remy began to change. She thought about her actions every day. Hurting. Vanessa wasn't something she could take back, no matter how sorry she was. Fame and fortune couldn't fix that. In that small cell, she realized how much she had lost. Not just her freedom, but love, trust, and part of herself. Meanwhile, Papoose, her longtime partner, was also dealing with a storm of emotions. When he found out Remy had won $30 million in spousal support, it felt unreal. But it wasn't about the money. It symbolized a fresh start, a second chance. He thought about everything they had been through: the love, the pain, the loyalty. And tears filled his eyes. He wasn't crying out of sadness. It was relief, pride. He always believed in Remy's strength, and now she had another shot. This victory felt personal. As he wiped his tears, he knew they had both come a long way. Through heartbreak and healing, they had survived. This moment was a reminder of how far love and resilience could take you, even when the road gets dark.
Pap and Remy, I think that is very unfortunate, you know what I'm saying, because I like them too. Very unfortunate, but you know, we don't be knowing what folk be going through behind closed doors, so we don't know what really happened. I remember I spoke on that shit one time, but I don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? What made everybody move the way they were moving. But I know know about it, man. Like, shit's crazy. I know about this marriage. Shit's hard. But I know one thing like that: you gotta have the right person. You have the right person, it won't be so hard. It'll be like living life. Regular ups and downs, but you get with somebody that ain't right, but it's just gonna tear your up, and you gonna wish you ain't never did that shit, and you probably, if you ain't strong enough, you probably ain't gonna never do it again. But I'm gonna do it again one day. I ain't doing no court.
This way, if I was in your shoes, they would say, Kirk, you deserve that shit. They would talk shit about me, and you know what? Dude, I love the fact they love you, niggas. Love you, bro, because you be with a lot of...
Kirk Frost had finally had enough. He couldn't just sit on the sidelines while Remy Ma took shots at Papoose. After Remy accused Papoose of cheating with boxing champ Claressa Shields, Kirk decided to step in and defend his friend. He didn't hold back. Kirk praised Papoose for keeping his cool through everything, especially while Remy was allegedly out doing her own dirt. Kirk called Remy toxic and accused her of trying to twist the story to make herself look like the victim. Let's rewind for a second. Last year, news broke that Remy Ma and Papoose had split. Not long after, word got out that Remy was spending time with a battle rapper named Easy the Block Captain, someone who moved in the same circles as Papoose. People started whispering, and soon enough, accusations started flying. A few months later, Remy was exposed for allegedly trying to make Papoose look bad, even though she might have been guilty of the same thing she blamed him for. Through all the drama, Papoose kept his mouth shut. He didn't clap back, didn't make a scene. He just stayed quiet and focused on moving forward. He even stayed silent when Remy started a new relationship. But apparently, Remy couldn't handle seeing him with someone else. Just days ago, she shocked everyone by accusing Papoose of cheating on her with Claressa Shields. That set social media on fire. But here's where things get messy. While Remy was out living her best life with Easy, Papoose had also started seeing someone new. Still, Remy's jealousy boiled over. She even posted a screenshot of a private conversation between Papoose and Claressa, accusing him of falling asleep on the phone with Claressa in her house. According to Remy, Claressa quickly ended the call when she heard Remy's voice. Now, Remy has always been known for her strong personality and no-nonsense attitude, but this time, She picked a fight with the wrong one. Claressa Shields wasn't backing down. She fired back hard, saying, "How does a woman with 2 boyfriends get mad at a man with a girlfriend?" That line hit hard, but she didn't stop there. She added, "If I'm not the only one, why are you tagging me alone?" Claressa went even further and blasted Remy online, saying, "I can't believe a 45-year-old woman is crashing out like this, faking text messages. It's wild. I'm not someone you can bully. You're bitter and making yourself look foolish. Just stop." That was bold. Remy shot back instantly, correcting her age and saying, "I'm not 45 yet, but you're 20.
I think that is very unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? Because I like them too. Very unfortunate, but you know, we don't be knowing what folk be going through behind closed doors, so we don't know what really happened. I remember I spoke on that shit one time, but I don't know what really happened. You know what I'm saying? What made everybody move the way they were moving. But I know know about it, man. Like, shit's crazy. I know about this marriage shit is hard. But I know one thing, like that, you gotta have the right person. If you have the right person, it won't be so hard. It'll be like living life. Regular ups and downs, but you get with somebody that ain't right, but that shit's gonna tear your up. And you gonna wish you ain't never did that shit. You probably, if you ain't strong enough, you probably ain't gonna never do it again. But I'm gonna do it again one day.
9. And let's just say, you're not aging like wine, sweetie. She even threw in some shade by telling Claressa to ask her man to buy her flowers, since he hadn't answered her calls all week, because he was with his side chick. After staying quiet for so long, Papoose finally broke his silence. He went online and shared his side. He said he had asked for a divorce multiple times, but Remy refused to end things peacefully. He accused her of cheating first and said she kept playing the victim. Then he dropped a bomb. He shared a picture of Remy and Easy the Block Captain, cozy by the Christmas tree, proving she had clearly moved on. He explained that he had kept quiet for the sake of their daughter, but couldn't let Remy keep disrespecting him. He posted a caption that read, "While I was at home with our daughter last Christmas, this is where Remy was." He also said she begged him to lie about an old fight, but he refused. Fans quickly rallied behind Papoose. They were fed up with Remy's behavior and called her out for being unfair. Kirk Frost wasn't the only one defending him. Many believed that Remy was the one causing all the drama and trying to flip the story. The drama shows no signs of slowing down, and Papoose seems stuck in the middle of a storm. But one thing's clear, he's done staying silent.
About so many women in here, and the women always talking bad about the guys. And then Pat, it's none of my business, but I get talked about all the time. And I'm just saying, if he went and visit, and his reward to me is bad, but this ain't my business, but I feel like, God damn, bro, I feel bad for him. Put it this way, if I was in your shoes, they would say, Kirk, you deserve that shit. They would talk shit about me, and you know what? Dude, I love the fact they love you, nigga. Love you, bro, because you being with a lot of people wouldn't do. Seriously, love you that. That's you got a lot of respect to the street. I'm keeping it on it. Women, y'all have shown y'all in a very bad way. Okay, but at least the women too. That's what I'm saying. Because y'all always
social media, the women are riding with Pat.
But even when I say shoot, it's off the 12. They still be like, but you wrong.
The main reason Remy Ma isn't facing heavier criticism for making Papoose look like the bad guy is because she's a woman. If the situation were flipped and Papoose acted like she did, people would have gone way harder on him. And it's not just Kirk Frost calling it out. Lil Scrappy spoke up too. You know, when Scrappy gets involved, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He had some real thoughts on the drama, and he made it clear he wasn't here for the double standards or the games. Let's dive into what Scrappy had to say. At this point, it's pretty obvious that Remy Ma and Papoose need to call it quits and move on. Their relationship has fallen apart, and honestly, it seems like Remy caused most of the mess. Papoose tried to stay calm and respectful, but Remy, didn't take it well when she saw him moving forward with someone else. Instead of staying quiet, she aired out his rumored connection with Claressa Shields, clearly letting her emotions get the best of her. It's clear that their marriage has run its course, and now people are just waiting for Remy to sign those divorce papers so Papoose can have a fresh start. Relationships only work when both people are willing to put in the effort, and that clearly wasn't the case here. Even Kirk Frost spoke up, saying Remy's trying to act like she's the victim when she's really the one stirring the pot. Fans haven't held back either. Many are calling Remy bitter for getting mad after publicly